Here are 25 Switch 2 games worth playing in 2026 and 2027, from big Nintendo exclusives to major third-party hits. Game 1 on the list is Mario Kart World, and it makes complete sense to kick things off here, because this was the Switch 2 launch title that everyone got first. It is a full-scale kart racer built from the ground up for the new hardware, featuring an open-world exploration element between races that no previous entry in the series ever had. The courses feel massive, the visuals are sharp, and the multiplayer remains the best in the franchise. Coming in right at number 2, Donkey Kong Bananza was one of the biggest surprises of the Switch 2 launch window and ended up being a serious Game of the Year contender. This is the first major 3D platformer for the franchise since Donkey Kong 64, and it plays unlike anything else on the system. The defining feature is a fully destructible world, where DK can literally punch through terrain to carve his own path. Levels feel alive and reactive in a way that feels genuinely new. Right behind it at number 3 is Kirby Air Riders, which brought back the beloved air ride format from the GameCube era and updated it for modern audiences. The game launched in late 2025 and carried strong momentum into 2026, with colorful tracks, tight controls, and that signature Kirby charm that makes it accessible for all ages. It is an easy recommendation for anyone who grew up with the original, and a great entry point for newcomers. Taking the 4th spot, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond launched in December 2025 after years of development and delivered exactly what fans had been hoping for. Samus explores a strange new planet, navigates complex environments full of secrets, and battles increasingly intense alien threats. The Switch 2 version adds mouse-like aiming using the Joy-Con 2, which makes first-person combat feel noticeably more precise. For fans of atmospheric solo adventures, this one belongs at the top. Slotting in at number 5, Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch 2 Edition gave one of the most beloved life simulation games a meaningful upgrade. Released in January 2026, this enhanced port adds Switch 2 specific features on top of the full original experience and all its prior updates. It is the definitive way to experience island life, and whether you are returning after years away or starting fresh, the game is as warm and rewarding as ever. Number 6 goes to Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, the enhanced version of the massive open-world RPG that originally launched on Wii U. Monolith Soft builds worlds that feel genuinely alive, and Mira is one of the most impressive alien landscapes in RPG history. The Switch 2 Edition improves resolution and frame rate, making exploration feel smoother than any previous version. If you have never played it, this is absolutely the best time to jump in. Landing at number 7, Mario Tennis Fever was one of the first brand new, non-port Switch 2 sports games of 2026, developed by Camelot, who knows this series inside and out. It brings the fast and fun tennis formula forward, with new mechanics and courts built specifically for the hardware. Whether you are playing solo or competing with friends, it offers that satisfying arcade sports energy that makes it easy to pick up and hard to put down. At number 8, Resident Evil Requiem stands out as one of the most exciting horror releases on the platform. Launching in February 2026, this is a fully new Resident Evil entry rather than a port, arriving on Switch 2 as a notable exclusive launch window title. It carries the survival horror tension the series is known for into a fresh setting with strong production values. Horror fans looking for something intense on Nintendo hardware will find exactly what they are looking for here. Coming in 9th is Pokémon Pokopia, and this one genuinely surprised everyone. Rather than a traditional mainline Pokémon adventure, Pokopia is a cozy life simulation game where you play as a Ditto disguised as a human, befriending Pokémon and building up the world around you. It launched March 2026 to some of the strongest reviews a Pokémon game has received in years. If you enjoy relaxed, creative gameplay loops with a Pokémon twist, this one hits differently. Number 10 is Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, with the Meetup in Bella Bell Park content included. Already critically celebrated for its inventive power-up mechanics and wild visual style, this enhanced version adds new co-op and social features designed around the Switch 2 hardware. It launched March 2026 and gives players who missed it a compelling reason to jump in, and gives returning players something genuinely new to experience alongside the original game. At number 11, Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream marks the long-awaited return of one of Nintendo's quirkiest and most beloved series. The original was a cult hit on 3DS, and this sequel brings all the strange charm of watching your Miis live out chaotic little lives to modern hardware. It launched April 2026 and quickly became one of the most talked about releases of the spring, offering a uniquely unpredictable experience that is difficult to describe, but very easy to enjoy once you start. Slotting in at number 12 is Mouse P.I. for Hire, one of the standout indie-style releases in the Switch 2's Spring 2026 lineup. This stylized detective adventure launched April 2026 and brings a cool visual style and clever puzzle-based gameplay that feels distinct from everything else in the catalog. It is the kind of game that rewards exploration and curiosity, and it carves out its own identity in a library full of heavy hitters. Number 13 brings Amnesia Rebirth to the conversation, a survival horror port that arrived April 30, 2026, and broadened the Switch 2's horror offerings significantly. The game delivers atmospheric, first-person horror with a strong narrative backbone, building tension through isolation and environmental storytelling, rather than constant action. For players who want a slower, more psychological horror experience compared to something like Resident Evil, this delivers on every level. Right at number 14, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was one of the highest-profile third-party ports to arrive on Switch 2 in spring 2026. This first-person action-adventure puts you in the boots of the iconic archaeologist and delivers a cinematic experience that holds up beautifully on Nintendo hardware. It launched May 2026 as part of a strong wave of new releases, and for anyone who enjoys story-driven single-player games with action and exploration, it is absolutely worth your time. Coming in at number 15, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is a charming Nintendo platformer that launched May 21, 2026 as part of the first-party spring push. You guide Yoshi through the living pages of a storybook, discovering creatures and uncovering the narrative of an amnesiac book trying to remember itself. It has that signature Yoshi softness and creativity, making it ideal for younger players or anyone who appreciates well-crafted, imaginative 2D platforming with a light and joyful tone. At number 16, Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn Edition arrives on Switch 2 as a comprehensive package that includes the full base action RPG and its expanded story content. Launching May 22, 2026, this is a great entry point for players new to the Tales series on Nintendo hardware. The combat is fast and expressive, the story has real emotional weight, and the expanded content adds meaningful hours to an already substantial experience. Number 17 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, one of the most anticipated third-party releases of 2026 on the platform. This sweeping JRPG sequel to the FF7 Remake project arrived on Switch 2 on June 3, 2026, signaling real commitment from Square Enix to the platform. It features a massive world to explore, deeply developed characters, and a combat system that blends action with strategy beautifully. For RPG fans, this is easily one of the biggest releases of the year. Taking number 18, Star Fox launched June 25, 2026 as a full cinematic remake of the classic Star Fox 64, rebuilt entirely for Nintendo Switch 2. It adds a new 4 vs 4 multiplayer battle mode, fresh cutscenes, and upgraded character designs, while keeping the tight barrel roll arcade flight gameplay that made the original legendary. After a decade without a new entry in the franchise, this one feels like a genuine comeback that honors the original while bringing new energy to the series. Right at number 19, Rhythm Heaven Groove is the first new entry in the beloved Rhythm series in over a decade, and it arrived July 2, 2026 at a lower price point than most Switch games. Each minigame is a tiny burst of musical chaos that requires timing and instinct more than complex button knowledge. The series has always been quirky, funny, and deceptively addictive, and this new entry delivers more of that energy while introducing fresh mini-games built for modern hardware. Arriving at number 20, Splatoon Raiders takes the colorful ink-based franchise in a new direction with a single-player exploration and cooperative gameplay focus. Scheduled for July 23, 2026, it expands what Splatoon can be by leaning into adventure and team dynamics rather than purely competitive multiplayer. Nintendo has been building towards something like this for years, and for fans of the franchise looking for a deeper single-player experience, Raiders is the game that delivers it. At number 21, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave is one of the most anticipated first-party strategy RPGs on the Switch 2, confirmed for a 2026 release. As a brand new entry in the long-running Fire Emblem series, it carries the signature combination of tactical grid combat, character-driven storytelling, and permadeath stakes that makes the franchise special. Nintendo's strategy RPG fans have been waiting for this one since the system launched, and everything shown so far suggests it will be worth it. Landing at number 22, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is the Musou-style action game set in the Zelda universe, serving as a prequel to Tears of the Kingdom. Developed alongside Koei Tecmo, it lets you play as Zelda herself during the Imprisonment War era. It launched as part of the Switch 2's strong action lineup and rewards Zelda lore fans especially, while still offering the satisfying large-scale combat loop that the Warriors formula does best. Coming in at number 23, Pragmata is a brand new Capcom IP that arrived on Switch 2 in 2026, bringing a cinematic sci-fi action adventure to the platform. It was one of the most intriguing new intellectual properties to land on the system, blending story and action in a way that Capcom has become known for. For players looking for something completely fresh, rather than a franchise entry or port, Pragmata stands out as one of the more original offerings in the catalog this year. At number 24 is The Adventures of Elliot, a third-party title that Nintendo highlighted as part of its confirmed 2026 third-party lineup. It offers an adventure experience that fits naturally into the Switch 2 library and has generated genuine enthusiasm from players looking for something outside the usual franchise entries. For those who enjoy discovering hidden gems amid the bigger releases, Elliot is exactly the kind of title worth keeping an eye on. Rounding out the list at number 25, 07 First Light is a brand new James Bond game that Nintendo confirmed as part of its upcoming third-party wave for Switch 2. It represents a significant pop culture crossover for the platform and brings the spy action genre to Nintendo hardware in a fresh way. Whether you are a longtime Bond fan or just looking for a slick cinematic action game to close out your 2026 Switch 2 playlist, First Light puts an exciting cap on a genuinely packed year for the console.